Welcome to the Can Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. We're in Season 3, Episode 11. And this season, we're bringing you the world in a can. And this week, we're taking you south, way south, all the way back down to South Africa. And that is for our first red wine opening of the season. We moved on from the whites of fall, or summer and fall. Now we're in full fall here. It's quite cool up here in New York. And we're going to open a red wine. And before I get to that, we have to talk about our wine nerd word of the week, and that is body. A little more on body. Body is a word to describe the weight or texture of a wine, the viscosity of it. And it is related to alcohol content, and it can be impacted by things like aging or even malolactic fermentation. So without any further ado, we're starting with nothing this week, and we have our Dean of Dealcoholization. Dean, are you there?
Yes, I am, Brad.
Oh, welcome to the show, Dean. Always great to have you back. And you're in Lynchburg today?
On a cold and very rainy fall day in Lynchburg.
Wow. I have the cold up here, but we do not have any rain. This is the longest dry period I've ever experienced in all my time in New York. And we've, as predicted, we've got a lot of brush fires and runaway woods burning, and it's unfortunate. People are losing houses. Not what you expect out here in New York, but we're taking it one day at a time, and I hear we're going to get a week's rain next week. So enough about the weather. Can you introduce our can of the week?
Our can of the week is the Lautus Savvy Red. It is a non-alcoholic, vegan-friendly, de-alcoholized wine in the 250 milliliter can.
Yeah, and it's in a very nice I'd say it's a purple-colored can, right, Dean?
Yes, it is.
It is 0% alcohol, 2.4 grams per liter of residual sugar, and you can drink this, in the words of Joni Mitchell, you could drink a case of this and not have a whole bunch of calories. 30 calories per can, which is just exceedingly low. Of course, non-alcohol, vegan-friendly, and extremely low calories. Who is the winemaker? Well, the winemaker is Reg Holder, and he is from the Lautus Winery, and that is Latin for pure, elegant, and sumptuous. And they are located in South Africa in the Verendal, Northern Olifants River Valley in the Western Cape. Get out your maps and take a look. Very interesting location. They have great terroir there, fantastic wine growing regions down in South Africa. The Cape has the ocean breezes, the altitude, and everything. So it's really a great place to grow wine. And this wine actually came from the Camp Cantina in Wasagaming National Park up in Manitoba, Canada. And we were able to bring it down and share it with you, Dean. So we're hope you're going to enjoy it. It actually consists of Shiraz, Pinotage, Tempranillo, Cabernet Sauvignon. That's all from the Holder wineries, and it's aged 9 months in oak barrels, and then it undergoes a spin dealcoholization. And I know you're our expert on these things. Can you describe how they get the alcohol out of it?
Yes, it's a column of cones. Some spin and some are stationary. The wine is introduced into the top and spun to a very thin film. The aromatics and the flavor molecules are spun off, and they keep those. Then the alcohol is spun off, and they keep that also. And then to keep the wine de-alcoholized, they add the flavor and aroma molecules back in. It's a kind of they deconstruct it and then put it back together without the alcohol.
Well, that's amazing. And we've opened quite a few de-alcoholized rosés and whites and champagne style. But this is the first time we've ever opened a de-alcoholized red. So I'm excited about that. And without any further ado, why don't we do what we do on the Can Wine podcast and open this can of wine, and we'll continue to talk about it. Are you ready?
Sounds great. I am ready.
Okay.
I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to a red wine taste.
That's a very nice color. Do you have much clarity? Can you see through it, or is it fairly opaque?
I would call it opaque. I can't see through it at all. Nice, deep, dark. Oh man, almost eggplant color. I would call it.
Yeah, it's certainly a deep burgundy. Do you what are you smelling there?
It's fruity. Smelling some maybe cherry. So one of the sites said it had a leathery smell. I'm not really getting that.
It's a little smoky. It's not overpowering with smoke, but I find it to be kind of jammy, like a very fruity flavor, almost like a Zinfandel, although there is no Zinfandel in it. But with the Shiraz, Pinotage, Tempranillo, and Cabernet Sauvignon, you certainly have enough fruity flavors there to bring it out. How's the initial taste?
It has a very nice mouthfeel. It is not overly sweet. I tend to like a drier taste anyway, and this is tending that way. It's not like grape juice. It has a very nice winey, a dry taste. Almost, I wouldn't go as dry as Chianti, but it's on the dry side.
Yeah, it's definitely they've made a good go of it. I've had some other de-alcoholized wines from bottles and such, and some of them, as you said, were tended towards the just grape juice sort of thing. But they've taken the time to make a decent wine and then de-alcoholized it. So, well done, Mr. Holder. We appreciate your efforts. And it did say on their website that his wife was pregnant and still wanted to enjoy wine, so he came up with this idea, and it's really taken off for them. They seem to be a pretty major producer.
Very delicious, and look forward to finishing the rest of this with a little bit of. We have a meatloaf and butternut squash soup for dinner tonight.
That would be a good pairing. Some of the suggested pairings were roasted duck, pizza, fish, or some sort of roasted mushrooms would also be very good.
I'm looking forward to finishing it up.
And to just have a bit of fun with this, not that you need any reasons, but 4 top reasons to drink non-alcohol wine. You can enjoy it any time. I like that. That's not number one. But number one is it still is clinically proven to lower your blood pressure. As you said, they take the alcohol out, but before they do that, they take a lot of the other aromatics out of there, and they put those back in, so you have the resveratrol and all of the good things that are in wine come back. So clinically proven to lower your blood pressure, number one. Number two, very low calories or carbs because it has less sugar and no alcohol. Number three, decreased I've had too much wine, Dean. Decreased cholesterol levels, and ultimately you could enjoy this in moderation or not, and you wouldn't end up with a hangover. So those are at least 4 good reasons to try a de-alcoholized wine. Perhaps you're having it as an aperitif and you'll follow it up with something else, or maybe that's just the wine you're drinking that evening. It doesn't matter, but it's good enough to have a good quality wine here. So, I'm sure you could think of one or two more.
Well, you will not wake up with a headache the next day.
Exactly. If some wines give you headaches, this one maybe won't. Anyways, our shout out here is to Megan at the Camp Cantina. Was good to see you this summer. I still haven't got the picture of you in the cadet cap that I left there, but I'm sure you're getting good use out of it. And if you're in the Clear Lake area, go up to Camp Cantina. They're closed right now, but they will open in the spring. And Megan really knows wine. I've had some good wine conversations with her. And to our Spotify listeners, we're going to shout out to you again. Please come and join us on YouTube. We're having great fun with this new format, and we can show you some pictures of what's actually going on, so you get the visual and the audio. Our head scratcher for this week is coming up. Last week's answer was the Pacific Coast Highway. U.S. number 1 goes right through Monterey. Now, this is a little non-wine question as well. This week's question, what aquatic bird inhabits South Africa? So you may have to do a little research on South Africa, but I think you'll be surprised. Now, thanks as always, Dean, for joining us from Lynchburg. We appreciate.
Always a pleasure, Brad. Invite me anytime. We
appreciate that, and I know you're going to come back when we get to the sparkling wines, because you do have that sparkling Amalfi Fizz to try out as well. So thank you again, and appreciate your comments. And I know we're going to show some pictures of your pouring there. That'll be great. And as we close, thank you all for tuning into the Canned Wine Podcast, where we open cans of wine and talk about it. Remember to enjoy responsibly, and maybe part of that is trying out some of these NA wines once in a while. Not a bad taste and a decent wine. And just because it comes in a can doesn't mean you can drink and drive. The Canned Wine Podcast is a Center Stage production, all rights reserved.